Hey there, Dane Gastu here. Today's video is about our meetup with Doug at SV Seeker and is proudly sponsored by MarineEngine.com. It's morning here, a little bit wet. It's Jezebel. Hey, morning. Oh, you're gonna come and say hello. Got to start each day with a pat, haven't you? Oh yes, and a kiss, thank you, that's very kind. Meetup's at 1 o'clock today, so we'll have a little look around the boat and have a chat to Doug before the chaos begins, but got to get dressed first. Here's the decision. While I was in Indiana, I went to Boot City, check these puppies out. Totally inappropriate boat wear, but couldn't resist. What do you reckon, you like them? Oh, no jealousy. No. Oh, butt scratch, yeah, that's right. You're starting the motorbike, that's it. Also, as you can see, the only real mistake Dad made on this trip was letting me choose the rental car. Gold. You can hear thunder over there, the blue sky up there. Fingers crossed. Morning, Doug. You doing your housework? Good.
I don't know why we're getting the dirt off, I think.
Yeah.
Alright, so the boat.
Yeah.
Tell us the basic stats. So obviously steel.
Okay, she's 74 feet long, she's twin keel, she'll be Chinese junk rig, she's kind of built in a Chinese style. Her whole material is 1/4 inch steel. Yep. I think you call that 6.2 millimeters.
Okay. Yep, same as Brig, 6 point something.
Right. The thickest steel is the bottom of her keels.
Mm-hmm.
Those are that's 1 inch plate.
Right, wow.
There's 12 tons of lead now in the bottom of the keels, and there's fuel tanks above that. She's going to be a research vessel on the water, and we're going to do it for free since we have the money to operate the boat. We're going to find students that are passionate about working on the water, or somebody that wants to find a wreck or something like that. That's why I love what you're doing. It's like, yeah. Maybe we can team up and find, lift a wreck one day. So we have the ROV with the sonars and that sort of stuff. We spent a year building that, and that'll be on the boat. We'll hopefully turn it into an AUV at some point. So that's the kind of thing. I didn't want to go out and be bored. So I'm taking my shop and everything with me on the boat, and I'm taking somebody that needs the job done, and so we're going to become their employees.
I like the idea. I'm the same. Like people say, you go cruising, you sit on the boat, you have breakfast, and you just go, now? You've got to have something to do. You need a project.
I love La Vagabond. It's like it looks like a beautiful life, but it's like we're going swimming again. It's like come on.
Can we go wreck hunting?
Yeah, let's do something a little more dangerous, a little exciting.
Exactly.
So that's my kind of boating. That's what I want to do. And so we're building a boat that will just go anywhere in the world where somebody has a cool job that we can help out on.
And so the plan is to get on the boat and stay at sea for an extended period of time?
I plan to live and die on this boat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so extended periods, I don't know, whatever the need of the research is.
Yes.
So if there's somebody that wants to go out for 3 months, then we'll fill the cargo hold with provisions and stuff, and we'll try to stay out and stay on task for the duration of whatever they need to have done.
So the nice thing also, when you're living on a boat full time, people go, I couldn't live on a boat full time, but you can always pull into a marina and go, you know what, I'm going to go in a hotel for a week. I just want endless hot water.
Endless hot water.
That's the thing I would miss the most. And I definitely think when people say, oh, look, I've rented my house out, because that's a great way to get some money when you're cruising, if you own your home. And then to say, look, I'm going to miss the comforts of home, but when you really miss them, check into a motel. Give yourself a break.
Well, we already have crew come from all over the world to work on this thing, so we'll have spots where it's like, okay, look, Johan, you take the boat for 3 weeks, and I'm gonna sleep in your apartment, use all your hot water.
There's actually a big, I think there's websites for house swaps where you go, I want to go to Switzerland. A Swiss person.
Well, I ain't giving my boat to anybody, but I know Johan, so he's
that's it. It's slightly different with the boat.
You can come and run it. I trust you. So there's plenty of that. We'll do that too. When I need a break off the boat, we'll do that.
Perfect option. All right, let's have a look around.
Sure.
So, twin keel.
Twin keel is because she can sit on the ground in a bay just like this. We find a bay that has a tide, and we can park her and then come out and scrub the bottom of the boat, change the cutlass bearing, do repairs on her. So it's, have you ever tried scrubbing a boat while it's in the water and you're swimming?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't work out.
You just push yourself away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's easier to do it long.
Yeah.
So it's and we can get her into shallow waters a little safer that way. Now she's different than a sailboat. Sailboats actually have an advantage that you can catch them off, lean them over, and pull that keel back off the sandbar. This type of design, we kind of sit on the sandbar until there's a bigger tide.
Till a bigger tide, yeah. Or a bigger boat to drag you off.
Bigger boat to drag us off.
And so it's technically a motor sailor?
Yeah, it's a motor sailor. So she's got 170 horsepower. I think it's the right, somewhere between 170 and I'm not a diesel guy like
Neither am I. Scott is.
like I've learned about them. I've learned a lot about them. But it's we pulled it out of that school bus over there. So that's why I bought that.
That's where it came from.
We bought one school bus. The windows in the pilot house are all school bus windows, and the second school bus donated the Cummins diesel.
Right.
For the engine. But we're mainly a sailboat. If somebody's not paying for the diesel, then those are the masts, and we're sailing the thing.
Ah, right. You must. So, you made everything, didn't you, Doug?
Yeah, we built the mast. Yeah, Keith Finner at Turnright Machine Works did one of these masts where they tapered it, and so he helped us out, telling us how to taper it. I almost did it the way he said. I heard the instructions a little wrong, so it's like after the fact he told me, it's like, oh, oops, that would have been easier. But this is a 3/8 inch steel wall, so it's unstayed, so there's no shroud lines going up. So it's just a stick coming out of the boat, and that works well for us because our deck crane then can swing out without encumbering an obstacle with the shroud lines or the standing rigging. So 3-masted, big one in the middle, slightly smaller one up front, and little tiny baby one goes in the back. And we've got all the sails sewn up. Last summer we spent dragging 240 pounds of material for the mainsail. It starts off real nice, and then it's like you're dragging it, trying to push it through the sewing machine gently.
Oh, wow.
You develop this massive left arm,
That's a big effort.
Yeah. So much trash.
So unstayed's interesting.
What's that?
So unstayed is interesting.
Yeah, unstayed is interesting, and it's kind of rare because when the Europeans showed up, the Chinese immediately started staying their mast.
Okay.
But you lose the advantage of putting your sail all the way out perpendicular to your mast.
Right.
So sailing downwind, you lose some efficiency because you're dropping off some of the surface area of the sail for the angle. And I chose to go with it mainly for the deck crane, and I got tired of walking down boats and then running into the standing rigging, so.
They're a big hazard.
If you're not smart enough to avoid the lines, then get rid of the lines.
Have you noticed I'm trying not to interrupt this time?
More weight up top, so we'll have a longer roll because of it, but we'll see. We built this so we can modify it, so we may put a bowsprit on it someday and the jib,
Yes.
You just don't know.
So when you say, just to clarify as well, when you say motor sailor, what design changes are there compared to if you just said it's a sailing boat with an auxiliary engine?
Yeah, let's look at the back.
Okay.
After that.
Right. Say no more.
So you on?
You don't have a tiny prop and a...
We don't have a tiny prop. Yeah, most sailboats, the wheel would be, or the prop would be, about here. So we have 27 inches prop on there, and it's a Hundestedt variable pitch control propeller system. So we can change. So what happens is, I'll show you the props, but we can sail like that with the blades feathered, feathered for sailing, and then we can pitch them so that we can pull like a demon, if we need. So we take that relatively smallish engine, and we're not going to go fast, but man, we flatten those blades out. It's like a big trolling motor then. And then we put it inside of a shroud, which stops your prop wash, so you don't lose your energy coming off the end of your propeller blades. It all has to go backwards, so you add anywhere from 10 to the internet, a 25% increase, and maybe probably not.
I heard it was 2,000% increase.
Depends on what marketing department got a hold of it, right? So it's inside there. That'll increase the force some too. So we'll be good at pulling researchers' nets or equipment through the water, that kind of thing, or pulling somebody off a sandbar, or hopefully backing ourselves off the sandbar, that sort of thing.
No, of course, that's good. And are you doing the, the same fins on the top of the rudder?
Right, it's the other thing. So it's this fish-tailed rudder. It's much larger than what you'd see on a sailboat. So all this stuff adds more drag. So it kind of makes it not a great sailboat, but it makes it a good motor sailor, and especially the variable pitch thing. So, it's kind of a, you don't know if you want to be a motorboat or a sailboat. We want to be a sailboat when we're not under working conditions, and then when we're working, we want to be able to do the work. So a sailboat alone wouldn't be able to troll nets for a researcher. So we,
Exactly.
walk both worlds.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the thing. I don't think there's any wrong boat out there. I think there's boats being used for the wrong purpose, but they were built with something else in mind sometimes. But there's no. Everybody says, "What's the best boat design?" What are you going to do?
Fit for purpose.
Fit for purpose.
That's always been my key thing.
Yeah, that is exactly it.
Yeah.
And I think that, don't get lost in what's your purpose. Keep that in mind, and your boat will come out exactly what you want.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is what I mean. I don't have all the components inside, but when you turn the blades, see the other ones want to go. I get them going a little further.
Right.
They'll adjust. So that is the thing there.
And how do you control that from the wheelhouse?
There's actually a hydraulic motor in the engine room behind the transmission that it's basically a spinning cylinder, a hydraulic cylinder. And there's a coupler that slips on that has oil pumped through it. Mm-hmm. So you move that coupler a little this way, and it starts filling a gland that puts oil on this side of the piston.
Yep.
And the piston backs up a little bit until it's out of that area again. You move it, and so you just keep shifting it. And you go the other way, it's got another oil gland that puts oil on the other side of the piston. So it's a real simple thing. It's got a lot of moving parts, though. I'm not crazy about that. But so you can just, with a push-pull cable up at the helm, you can set it. So you set you put a pyrometer on there, engine exhaust temperature sensor thingy, and you can set so you're sailing along at like 6 knots. Then you can say, okay, if we just did 8 knots, we could make the harbor before sunset. Mm-hmm. So you turn your engine on, you set your speed right into your peak torque, low. You don't have to run your RPM up because your blade doesn't have to catch up to the sailing. You pitch the blades to ignore the 6 knots you're doing now, and had it bite in a little bit more just to push that extra 2 knots.
Gotcha.
So your engine runs at a real efficient RPM, and you then can you can crank the blades up until you see the engine temperature on the exhaust coming up, because you're getting fuel by that's not being burned. You're lugging it. So then you bring the pitch back down. You're tuned, and that's it. You sail the rest of the day at 8 knots.
And how does it travel? That hydraulic travel down the prop shaft?
It's got 2 shafts in it.
Right.
So at the other end, there's a second
You
shaft.
physically.
So there's a seal right there. So all of this floods. There's you put your stuffing box here, and there's another little stuffing box there for the this internal shaft. So water's inside. It's those 2 shafts.
That's how it works. Now, something else, those of you that don't watch SV Seeker, which you should, is that Doug cast the blades, did you? Yeah. Does a lot of
Doug
casting.
got a lot of help casting the blades. So
but it's still amazing.
First blade came out like, oh God, that's horrible. But we have, the beautiful thing about Tulsa is this is a fabrication town.
Right.
We built out of the oil industry, so Don Doss, he started casting belt buckles over there for his rodeo guys, and he moved up. Now he casts impellers for pumps for the U.S. nuclear submarine fleet. Right, so he's gotten really good at what he does.
He's got a few skills.
I went over there and sat down with him and talked with him for a couple hours at his desk. It's like, these guys, they don't have a lot of DIY guys coming in and say, hey, I'm getting ready to cast some 16-inch propeller blades. Could you help me out? And he said, yeah, sure. So he gave me a tour and gave me some suggestions, and boom, after that they started working. So
awesome.
It has a lot to do with copes and drags and runners and all that stuff.
The amazing thing about this boat is Doug made everything. Almost.
If it cost more than $10, we thought, can we make that?
Good approach.
We're cheap. Yeah, it was funny. The dog watertight doors. I saw them on an auction, military auction in Oklahoma City. I thought, who in Oklahoma City is going to want a military? They sold for $2,600 a piece.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking $150.
Yeah.
It's like, so we'll build our own. So we built our own. And they weren't hard to do. They just take some time. It taught me a lot about weld distortion when I made
Right.
Like,
such precise.
Yeah, it's like, he does this. It's like, okay, how do we undo this,
Yeah, put it in a jig and then weld it up.
Fun. Everything we make, we learn something from. So it's like, the next time it's like, okay, we're a little better at this now. And our comments, too. We got a lot of good suggestions. We get a lot of bad suggestions, too. But we get a lot of good suggestions.
Got to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Well, all suggestions, you got to think about it. It's like boats and everything else. The suggestion is it's honed from what that person's experience was. So if their experience is a yacht with fine finishing, it's a nice suggestion, but it's not one we're going to take.
It's not relevant to you.
Yeah, it's not relevant to me. I want something that we can chip and grind and repaint.
Yep, everyone comes from their own perspective.
Yeah, it does. Everybody comes from their own perspective.
Yeah,
So that's our fuel fill up here. And so we even have a fancy lid made for it now. There's a Baja filter that'll go there on the top, and all those pipes are the returns from the 6 fuel tanks out there in the cargo hold.
Wow.
So we got no, electronic measuring or stuff. It's like when there's fuel coming out that pipe, that tank's full. Okay, and then it runs down and goes back into the manifold, and it can go off to another tank down there. So beautiful manifold built for us by Hollis. He was a chief engineer on our oil tankers. He says, "I want to build your fuel manifold." I said, "Yeah, sure, go ahead."
That's not a bad offer.
No, it was a fantastic offer. I would have had buckets, we'd have been sloshing down. I want to carry it over and put it in the other one. So people ask, why is the boat taking so long? Well, it's a lot better boat than what I was getting ready to build, So there you go. Let's see, you want to do Pilot House next?
Yeah.
The Pilot House is where we store our foam. Yeah. It's like, this is one of those things, I think you and I were talking about this. Do you buy your materials when they're cheap, in bulk, or no? Just wait. We've moved this pile out down below.
Yeah.
It's back up here now. So
Almost everything I bought well before I needed it, I've regretted it.
yeah.
Not everything, but a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, if I hadn't just recently moved this, I wouldn't be saying that again. But you can see it's got mud on it from sandblasting because it's been sandblasted. It all goes in here to insulate this. It's what's used everywhere on the hull. We use 2 layers of that, so 2 inches thick of insulation, because we're not a wood boat.
Yes, exactly.
And we don't want to drip inside from condensation and freeze to death. So there's our insulation. So that goes in. Then we put red cedar, which you'll see on the in the cargo down below. But the helm will go here. We got an awesome helm. It's going to have an octopus on it. I tell you what, nothing else about this boat will be the best on the water, but this helm will be the best on the water. I tell you what, it's fantastic. 48 inches, 2 walnut rims on it, and a brass octopus for the spindle.
Can't wait to see that.
It's going to be fantastic. So, galley back over there, a barbecue pit in that corner, a couch there, table over here, and a winch. Those are hydraulic fittings down there, so we'll have a winch, and all the lines come in overhead to here, so you can sail the boat one person.
From inside.
From inside, yeah. So no need to go. That's another reason why Chinese junk, I chose that, because it's just so blindingly simple. You're not going to win races with Chinese junk sails, but boy, they're easy. It makes sailing just a pleasure. And you even read that from the books. So the guys, they finally get on a Chinese junk, it's like, wow, reefing is no big deal. You just lower the sail a little bit. You want to unreef, you just raise the sail, so the winch does all the work. So
nice.
Emergency escape hatch from the aft cabin. So my bunk will be about right there. And it's just all black coal tar now. It's like looking into the pit of hell. I still got to spray that with coal tar. And then we start putting on the insulation layers and all that, build it out. So we just have a lot of work to do. Just because we're painted doesn't mean we're ready to put in the water. I'm getting that comment a lot. Oh, you're ready to put it in the water. No, there's easily a year or 2.
I saw one guy comment saying, "What about the anti-Fouling anodes?" And I was like,
it's coming.
Yeah, but it's like, maybe in 2 years.
I got the anodes. We've actually cast the anodes.
You cast your own anodes too.
Yeah, we made our own anodes.
You're making me feel lazy.
They cost more than $10, so we cast them, of course. It's like, some guy in Florida melts takes the old zincs off boats and melts them down into his wife's cornbread muffin pan.
Yeah, nice.
So I bought these cornbread muffin pieces of zinc. We mix that in with aluminum and then cast our own anodes.
Zinc and what?
Aluminum. So aluminum and zinc. You got to put the 2 together, because the aluminum will oxidize. Will do its aluminum oxide thing, which is beautiful for salt water.
Yes.
And it works great on the anode too. So the anode stops being an anode.
Stops being an anode. Yeah.
Because of the but the zinc inside will tear that zinc oxide off. The zinc will tear the aluminum oxide off, and that keeps the aluminum doing its thing. So you can use aluminum as long as you have zinc mixed in. I think it was, I don't remember anymore, 8%, maybe 4%.
Right.
Yeah. So they sell them like that. You can buy zinc anodes, or you can buy aluminum anodes, but the aluminum anodes actually have zinc in them as well. That's the trick. So big towing bits back here, so we can draw somebody's nets or whatever from behind. The chalk, and that's the step for the mizzen mast. It's back here. And then there's 2 davits that are off the boat now, so our aluminum tender will hang back here. We got a 16-foot aluminum tender that's built for rough seas. Yeah, Bart and I actually flooded the thing with water and rode it around the lake. It floats because of all the foam it has on it. And then we'll have a little dinghy up front for the Go Fast boat. This is our work boat. This will be for divers in the water because it's jet propulsion.
Oh, nice. No
Yeah.
prop to...
Well, you know, it's one thing to get hit by a prop. It's another thing to get hit by a prop when you're out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
It's like, it's going to be bad for you.
Yeah.
So, and the rudder post comes up right through here. She's out right now to get painted on, and that goes all the way down through there. I've been watching Damien over at Brewpeg put his rudder together.
All his trials and tribulations.
I was like, okay, we dodged a bullet there. You know. I got one hole up there. I got to plug up.
Oh, with the tape? Let's go sort that out.
Yeah. For you.
Now, so what the deal is, the deck has drains in it, so we can collect fresh water from rain.
Ah, right. So this is actually rain collection.
Yeah. But right now, if we unplugged them, it would flood the inside of the boat, so we don't have the hoses or anything. So, this is one of our collection ports. Now, I'm not trusting the piece of tape that's over it this morning. It's been there for a few days. I hope this is the right size stopper.
Quick. Well done.
Yeah. It's all about keeping the water out of the boat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
That's all a boat really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
A thing for keeping water out.
I'm going to turn that over. It's not working. You know, it would work if I put the piece of tape over it. Use it as a gasket.
Yeah, right. It's kind of springing back, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got too much paint on the cork. There, that
Beautiful.
works.
Well
Yeah,
done.
yeah, well done.
Nice bit of impromptu engineering.
Yes.
So on your deck, this is actually the bit I like almost the most. Your
The hatch?
yeah, that's awesome.
So the main mast comes up through this hole. Well, he did a nice job plugging that up. That thing has always leaked before. Nicely done. So that hatch slides back, and the crane mounts right there. It extends back this direction.
Perfect.
So we can come up and pick up where the load is, swing it off to the side. It actually extends out. And so, you know, getting your research project in and out of the boat or your equipment in and out of the boat, that's the big deal. So that hatch opens up, gives us 4 foot by 8 foot opening.
And the sliding mechanism, I think you did a lot of...
It doesn't work right now, so I can't operate it for you.
yeah, that's okay.
But yeah, it's cool. It's a cool design because what we did, we split the bottom out of a pipe. We put a bushing in. As long as the bushing's in there, it can't come up off this. It can't come up. I mean, if there was enough force lifting it, it would jam on the bushing. But you take that bolt out and slide the bushing back, and it comes right up. So we got to take the 4 corners off, and the whole hatch comes
The whole
up.
hatch comes off.
Yeah, I need to do a little more work on the racks.
That's a really nice design.
Yeah, there's a chain gypsy here that drives a shaft that goes across with racks that pull.
So it's not manually, as in...
Oh, it's manual. Yeah, you can put a 3-inch drive
but you
in.
don't just physically grab it and drag it along.
Yeah, we used to. You've seen us do that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to do that.
And it kind of goes without saying, but on Doug's channel he's got videos on making all this stuff.
Yeah.
So if you want the details in any bit, just search SV Seeker hatch, or you'll find it.
Well, yeah, you might. might find it there. And see, that's part of the deal too, is the bolts out there, and also in the deck. That's what the pegs are just for painting, but there's a bolt that goes in there that plugs it. But what we can do is we can bring equipment up here, research equipment, set it down, weld a pad onto it if we need to, and bolt it to our deck. It can stay up here for a long duration.
Yeah, not go flying around in rough seas. And
I mean, I've seen that boat that has a hydraulic thing. They grab the sharks and pull them up out of the water.
Yeah.
I'd love to have one of those. Bring the shark up alongside, and then they lift the whole thing up, and the biologists do their thing with the shark, and then drop it back down.
in.
The shark swims off. So
wow, that's cool.
I'm not sure I'll get down there with the shark, but I'm happy to film it while you do.
I'm actually tempted to do a shark dive, cage dive soon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, cage, yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't trust them that way.
Depends what they are.
Well, my thing is, like, all these people, they go out and they go to these dive trips and they feed the sharks, you know?
Yes, yeah.
What happens when you're the guy that shows up one day and you don't have any food? Huh? That's not going to turn out well. It's like the shark's going to go, hey, we had an agreement here, you know?
Mate and I thought we'd get these really stylish sequin wetsuits one day, and then we realised we'd look like a big tuna.
Yeah, that could end badly.
All right,
Yeah,
shall
you
we?
don't make yourself look like a lure.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's not a
Little dangly things, flashing lights. Yeah.
with big hooks hanging off your legs. Oh, your winch. We may as well finish the deck.
Winch. Yeah, so it's a white winch, circa World War II prior, and it came off what's oil field truck stuff, you know. So it's like we got a lot of that. So we rebuilt it. I mean, we welded tons of that. Put silicon bronze underneath the brakes, so that'll grind in. It's got a clutch on it. We got capstans that go on both sides of it, and we're not sure about how we're going to use it yet, but with chain or road or whatever, but we'll probably have 5/8 inch chain on it, and then we can have steel spool cables that come up here and take the capstan off, put a steel capstan or steel spool on it, so we'll make it flexible like everything else.
Yes, and dual anchors.
Yeah, we got 4 anchors. Well, 2 of them will stay up here on the deck. All the bow rollers and the locks are off right now, and there's the mast that comes up through a hole right there. So we've got a place for pad eyes out on the side that will run our cables back around. We can pull them off to the side so we can get them lined up to the winch. So, howdy, how you doing? Come on in. Yeah, just speak nicely to her. And then our noisy ladder. I got another string here too. I'll plug that in. My favorite doors there.
Yes.
Those doors. So this is a four dog door that we built. And this is not finished out yet, but it's going to be crew quarters. So 4 bunks up in here, head. And we just got the coal tar trimmed in now, so now that I got the sprayer working.
Right.
Yeah, and people say, you ought to wear a respirator. In here, I will.
Yes.
Okay, out beside the boat with the nice fresh air blowing by me, no. But in this box, yeah.
Definitely.
And it's my great singing thing. It sounds great.
We should have done carpool karaoke when we go to get the ice.
So the rest of this is cargo holds, so 21 feet long, I think, 14 feet wide. Main mast comes up right there in the middle around these pipes. They're hydraulic and fuel vents and air. So we're trying to get all the tools in here. We have overhead trays down both sides so we can put hoses and cables for water power, water you need. That's the main hatch up there. It opens up so your equipment can come back out of the ocean. We got a wash down pipe there on the side. Drop it right back down in here. You can start pulling your samples and do whatever you need to do.
Oh, and this is your
Yeah, that's the rail that it runs on. You can see that rack up there.
rack and pinion?
Yeah, it's somebody gave me that idea off of YouTube. It's a gate opener is what it is. And it's plastic. It's steel inside with plastic coating on the side, so it's beautiful.
Perfect for a boat, yeah.
So we just bolted it on. And when I get it lubricated and adjusted right, it works. But not today.
The timber looks really nice inside.
Yeah, and we're just going to leave it like this. We're not going for a yachty look, so it's just raw red cedar screwed into the walls. If we screw one up really bad, we unscrew it, we turn it over, we screw it back in. It'll have the one really clean board over there for a while. It's got a lot of water damage to it now from the sandblasting, but we can just sand it and clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I have a beach down here. There's actually steel down here, but I got like a 1/4 inch of sand in there from sandblasting. And we didn't even sandblast the inside of the boat. That's just what leaked in from cracks and portholes and that stuff around the side. So.
Gets in everywhere.
Yeah. So all below us is the fuel tanks, the battery storage, freshwater tanks is all below. So it's like underneath our floor here is like a ice cube tray. So it's really the strongest part of the boat. And the 2 keels are attached in here as well. Okay. And the frames coming up the wall are really just decorative more than anything else. They're so we can hang tables and tie cargo down to it.
Gotcha. Nice. And because it's the origami design, no ribs required in the building.
Yeah, origami or frameless boat design. Yeah. It's a cool process, but and people say, oh, you know how to build that way. It gets you done fast. It gets you a hull fast, but after that, there's just all the boat.
All the same?
Yeah, it's all the same. So we come back and put the deck braces and the framing. But a lot of the framing inside boats, it's not really for structure. It's really so they have something to hang the hull plate on. It's the hull plate that keeps these boats, stiff and making it that cigar shape,
Yes.
You turn it into a pipe and it becomes awfully strong. It's amazing when you pull that, when you see that. When they were unloading my steel from the truck when it first got here, 2 forklifts, 45-foot long sheet of steel, 6 foot wide. It's just flopping around.
Sagging.
I'm looking at it like, I'm going to build a boat out of that. And you put a bend in it, and man, it becomes something else.
It's the eggshell monocoque concept.
Yeah, it's like you put that egg in your hand and try and break it.
So strong.
It's just amazing. Yeah.
And it's not 6mm steel.
No, it's an eggshell. I can't break it. It's like this. So back here is the engine room, and make a little room for us, folks. So we got the Cummins 5.9 down here on the bottom, and we're going to use this automatic transmission just because we think it'll work. If we're wrong, we'll find out. But
And you're saying this was from the bus, the school
yeah,
bus?
it's from the school bus next door, so it's like a $3,600 engine, less what I can scrap off the school bus. and the automatic transmission. That 100-step, I'll unbury it. Hey, Bart, let me get back in there for a minute. Is this, hey, would you mind walking this one up forward for me? So we got that. The generator that sits right here is the VMAC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And see, that's the 100-step back in there. Let me get one more board out for you.
And so these tiles, people donated $50
they donated them.
and gave you a...
You could sponsor a tile, so you gave us a sponsorship, and we carved in the phrase that you wanted.
It's a great idea.
Can you read that one?
The inhabitants of the watery elements are made for wise men to contemplate and for fools to pass by without consideration.
Yeah,
Isaac Walton.
Yeah, you were saying.
By Ralph and Gabriel.
Yeah, you were saying about how many people sail across the surface of the water and don't even give a thought for what's underneath it. So, these are temporaries. One more, let me just scoop that back.
Yep.
I got it.
Yep.
So that is the Hunderstead.
Ah, gotcha.
So it's our little magical box.
The prop feathering box.
Yeah, so this lever here pushes the coupler back and forth. It doesn't have any oil in it right now, so I'm not going to shove on it. And that actuates the internal shaft. And I actually got a piece of acrylic up there so I can actually watch it.
See
so
what's
the
going
oil comes in on this side and gets pumped to that coupler. And then it goes back to the pump. We'll use a power steering pump on the main engine to pump the oil for this. And then it's got a little oil cooler in there too, so it's got some water lines that run in, so that's what this pump is for. It'll bring in water off of our cooling lines. Our cooling lines run back to our skeg. So we got like instead of a radiator, we have a skeg. So it's like a keel cooler.
Like a keel cooler, yeah.
Except no pipes out of stereo to the boat. Yeah, it'll have about 250 gallons of engine coolant
In it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Very good. There's a lot of advantages to external cooling of some design, so no raw water coming in at all.
Yeah, the only reason we bring water on is for the water makers and the wash down pumps and that sort of thing. But that's the sea chest over there in the corner. So that pipe sticking up.
Oh, yep.
Is our sea chest.
Cool.
But it'll be for, and some of the researchers will need, raw water for this or that. So we'll be able to bring it up and pump it in from there. Battery, let's see, what else is down here? There's some of this back. That's a battery rack for the 12 volts for the engine there. We'll have several of them there. And then still lots of work to do. Still need to hook up fuel lines and all that little stuff,
So this was your fuel system was made by a guy who was chief engineer on
on oil.
oil tanker.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of conversions on marine ships to fisheries, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot of amazing people that have put time in on this boat.
Well, he certainly stamped his authority on the fuel system, that's for sure.
Yeah, he certainly did. And the cool thing is there's a lot of people that come here, they haven't done anything. They've never run a welder before.
Right.
And it's amazing the guy who welded all these frames down in here, never touched a MIG welder in his life.
Yeah.
3 minutes later, he's laying down these beautiful beads. I said, "Don't just keep doing what you're doing."
Keep going, yeah.
Like he did.
You're
did
doing
the
it.
whole thing. Yeah, so Chris did all that.
I like this one too.
Yeah, that's our storage store. So aft cabin, kind of like there'll be two bunks back here, another head, and the lights back there are showing back on our rudder post. Just got through doing the coal tar painting back in there. There's hydraulic lines running back for the rudder, but the rudder is a chain and cable system as well as hydraulic.
Got the backup.
Yeah. So if we're hydraulic, we're not going to really steer by the hydraulic. We'll let the autopilot steer by hydraulics.
Right. Okay, yep.
So you'll either be on autopilot or you'll be manually steering.
Gotcha.
But we could use it. We'll have a little button up there because all it is just two actuators. So you push the button and it opens it up. It moves it at just one constant speed, either left or right.
Yep. So I like the size of this boat. I really do. Like you stand on deck.
Were you the one saying a bigger boat is you got all the same components as a smaller boat?
Yeah.
And that's true. But that pains me because it's like. Yeah, but there's so much more surface area.
There is, don't get me wrong, but it's like.
But you're right. It's like one rudder, one engine.
Yeah, a boat twice as big isn't twice as much work. I don't think. I might be wrong. I'm not an expert. Never done it, but I feel like. Okay, don't be wrong. Also, like a boat twice as long has 4 times as much room.
so 4 times as much surface area.
Yeah, they really go by tonnage, you know. It's
Yeah,
like-
exactly. Yeah. But at the same time, you've got
I don't know. I would hesitate to encourage people to go really
Bigger than
big
they,
because there is. I think it's really on the tonnage. You got a 10-ton boat.
Yes.
And this is a 40-ton boat.
Yes,
So
I
I'm thinking 4 times as much work. Is
Yep.
Probably right.
Okay.
But as far as things to figure out, you could build a freaking dinghy. And you have to figure out the same things that we
Yes.
figure out.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have the rudder, you got to have the keels, you got to have. Well, you're not a sailboat, but you know,
Yeah.
all the idle parts are there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not a bad idea to start small. The only reason I have this boat this big is because we're going to do this research thing, and
Exactly.
this is my engine room and shop.
Well,
So
then
my
that's what
CNC
I-
machine. So
yeah.
I have a purpose for it. You know, like you said before,
Yeah.
the functions there.
So if I was taking my boat out for day trips offshore fishing,
Yeah.
it'd be awesome. There's power, there's
Yeah.
the sonar, there's enough room for 4 guys to be on deck, try a line offshore,
Yeah.
pull in the fish of a reasonable
I would
size.
take your boat around the world, but I don't see any problem with that at all.
Other than accommodation comfort.
Right.
Yeah, like you just, I feel
People
like
sleep in those little sailboat berths.
Totally. They do,
They put
yeah.
themselves in this tube, you know, they sleep. But
yeah,
you're
it's like a
asleep.
U-boat. Yeah,
Yeah. No, it's U-boats are even worse.
We did actually do a tour of the Growler in
Oh, did you?
Intrepid. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
cool.
we have the Bathfish just down here. in
Oh, really?
Muskogee, too.
Okay.
It's the same. It's just like another U-boat.
Yeah.
I've seen all of them, I think,
Right, okay.
except for one in Chicago. But they're
Yeah.
it's like, man, and they have a lathe on there. I know where the lathes are on the American
really?
U-boats. Yeah, it's like he's like people say, well, the lathe is a dangerous machine. You should see where it is on a U-boat. I mean, on the submarines, you know, the American submarines. It's like you gotta have it's spinning right here, and you're hanging over.
You're hanging over. Do you have to wear a tie?
I think that's protocol. Yeah, you must be wearing your tie, Seaman.
Just so you
But Hank got drunk in you.
Don't worry, put it on.
Regulations. Yeah, so
Very good.
it's that whole form follows function type thing. you
Yes. Yeah.
know. I'm insane to build a 75-foot boat, except that I have a perfect reason to build a 75-foot boat.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. So a lot of people are saying the nice thing about steel is you can chop them in half, and which is kind of tempting.
It's amazing what you can do.
Yeah, and it's as strong as it was originally.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a fantastic material. Aluminum too, I just love it. I don't have to paint the aluminum parts.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. People ask, where are you going to paint your aluminum? Your pilot house. I ain't going to paint my pilot house. It's 5,000 series aluminum. It's
And I can't believe people do paint aluminium. It's
I know.
like
The French go nuts with it. It's like,
Really?
Why do because they sail around the world.
every
Always
aluminium
boats
boat
are
I've seen
painted.
that's painted looks really old within 2 years.
Yeah.
And every boat left unpainted just slightly dulls
Yeah.
and looks fine for
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
Don't know.
No, I like aluminum left raw. And we're getting some rain now.
Yeah, you can tell we've got to meet up today.
Oh, yeah. That's my fault, sorry. Oh, and these are your,
It's been raining here all summer long.
yeah, you've had a lot of rain. These are the battens for your sail?
Yeah. All the land on top of the school bus are all the battens, so we've made up for all 3 sails.
They're serious battens.
Yeah, and they're aluminum too, which is lovely for us because they break occasionally when you
Yeah.
don't put the sail down soon enough.
Yeah.
Wind goes a little too hard, so we can weld them back
Weld them
together.
up,
Otherwise, they'd be probably fiberglass or something like that.
Right, gotcha.
I'm not Ross, so fiberglass is no.
Yeah.
No, he
And
can
they
fix
don't
that
need
stuff.
flex at all, like
They do. They'll flex
They
some.
will flex, yeah.
Aluminum's pretty good at flexing.
Yeah.
The problem with aluminum though is once it flexes too much, it's like that's it. It ain't coming
gone,
back.
not coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
End of the day.
End of the day. So this morning, I was driving and Doug was in the passenger seat, but
I'm glad I
now
wasn't driving.
I've been barred from driving because of
Well, you got the coolest truck in the whole neighborhood.
because of
so it's like,
beverages. So now it's my turn to be passenger.
oh, is that why I'm driving? I just thought you wanted me to let you drive the
I
truck.
did want you to drive the truck.
Well, I'm enjoying driving the truck.
Well, there was multiple reasons.
But I'm driving.
We had a good meetup.
We had a wonderful meetup.
We met lots of nice
A
people.
lot of nice people. I was surprised how many people that only watched your channel.
Yeah, they came down. to
I
see
met all
us
these
too.
people. I was like, "Hey, how you going?" I put my hand out. They go, "Where's Doug?"
Who are you?
And I do the whole kind of like, Anyway,
I asked half a dozen people, what brought you down here from Missouri or Arkansas? And they said, Stu.
What Christy started watching my videos? Oh, we don't watch your videos. We watch Stu's videos.
oh, that's harsh.
Get off my fucking butt.
we don't watch somebody that knows what he's doing, not you. You're a hack, you know. So, yeah, that's true. Okay, I'm doing good.
I aspire to be a hack.
I inspire to be a hack.
You know,
Aspire.
I'm looking
Is that
forward
what
to the
you
video
said?
we make.
Aspire. Oh,
Aspire.
I'm looking forward to the video that we make when we're out doing the salvage on a.
Exactly. Now that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, that's what we're
High
going to do.
five, salvage. Yes.
I'm saying, I'm
Even if it's just a
inspired.
toilet, I don't care.
I don't care what it
We're gonna
is.
pick that thing up off the bottom.
I'm
bring
going
to
to
the
find it
surface.
and salvage it for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
Exactly. It's not the value of the thing. It's the process.
You got it to the surface.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
I found a buoy that was sunk on when we were up sailing around the San Juan Islands.
Yeah.
Yeah, anchor was snagged up on it. The lady that owns the boat, I said, "You really don't want me doing this to your winch. I want my anchor back." I was like, "Okay, fine." You know, cranking that thing. Finally, this huge Volkswagen-sized thing comes up out of the darkness and the water, and it's like it's a freaking buoy. It's upside down.
Upside
you know?
down.
It has. I was in love with it because it has like 100 pounds of lead weight on the
Yeah,
bottom.
right.
It's like,
Oh, but is that-
score, you know?
Is that in your keel now?
No, it's not because I had to fly home.
Right,
Otherwise, it's like,
okay,
I'm
yeah.
coming up with that. But
Yeah, 100 pounds of lead in your carry-on luggage is not.
yeah, they wouldn't have gone for that. So, yeah.
They'd have charged him 2 extra seats in the
Yes, I
That's
would've.
it.
plane to carry that on.
Yes. So, anyway, it was a lovely day.
It was a lovely day. Now we're going to eat Mexican.
El Mexican Tienda.
Mexican.
And they
Mexico
got a
Tienda.
restroom there.
Which
I've
is-
got to go.
MSDS for you safety guys.
MSDS.
MSDS.
The guy that runs the place is a Mexican, actually.
Oh, they
Real
all
life
are.
Mexican.
Yeah. A real life.
If you whoop that MSDS thing in a Mexican
Yeah.
tone,
I might swing it by.
he might just.
He might believe it.
CC.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. We may not film that.
Oh, I
but-
don't know if he
yeah, that's it.
Oh, well, no, he.
All right.
No,
Anyway,
we're good 'cause
we'll
he
see you
don't
in a
play
week.
with my.